but I'm a person, and I feel like, people will like you for who you are if you are true to yourself. And
We are accustomed.
California has no idea what's going to hit it, and Alex Eala is on her way to Indian Wells. This tournament is witnessing an unprecedented mobilization of the Filipino community. Sections are being reserved in bulk, tickets are selling out, and the tournament directors are apparently in disbelief at what they are seeing. The fifth Grand Slam is about to undergo a radical transformation. Do you believe Alex Eala will make it to Indian Wells Indianals semifinals this year? And do you think the loudest crowd the tournament has ever seen will be the Filipino community in California? Now, leave your prediction in the comments. Let's discuss what is truly going on in California at the moment, because its scope warrants a thorough understanding rather than being summed up in a single social media post. Alex Eala is in the BNP Paribas, the Indian Paribas Open main draw at Indian Wells. Not because she qualified, not because she received a wild card, and not because she is ranked 31st in the world. She rose from 137 to 31 in only a year, earning a rating that made the tennis community take notice. She defeated Jasmine Pelaini in the Miami Open semifinals Paribas and the Dubai quarterfinals when she was ranked 8th in the world with a score of 6,176. Won semifinals a gold medal at the Southeast Asian Games. Made her 6,176. Won Australian Open main draw. Made her main draw debut, the AUC main draw debut. Reached Cland semifinals debut. Reached semifinals. And the semifinals, and made Abu Dhabi quarterfinals. She had to work hard to win her spot at Indian Wells, which is the only way it truly matters. Additionally, since her admission was confirmed, the tournament organizers have been keeping an eye on ticket sales and hospitality reservations. They seem to be genuinely stunned by what they are witnessing. The greatest Filipino diaspora in the U.S. is located in California. This state boasts a sizable, well-organized, sports-loving, and made sports-loving Filipino-American community that has been waiting for this very moment. In their backyard, a player representing the Philippines competes at the top international tennis levels. Not only did she compete, win, set records, and be sports-loving get referred to as the sport's biggest attraction by previous top 10 professionals, Herjit professionals, but photo was disprofessionals, but was also laid at Nike World Headquarters in Oregon with a statement, "History in full bloom," was also. The Filipino community in California has responded in a way that the Indian Wells Tennis Garden has never seen before. As a result of the mix of athletic achievement and cultural relevance, group reservations are being arranged by fan clubs in Daly City, San Diego, and Los Angeles. Community organizations are reserving entire sections of the stadium in an attempt to produce the same wall of sound that transformed Dubai into a Filipino celebration and caused Coco Gauff to acknowledge the audience following her triumph over Yele in the quarterfinals. Prices for tickets on the secondary market for the periods when IIA is anticipated to perform have already risen well beyond face value. According to reports, some seats are selling for twice as much as they originally cost. The tournament's commercial side is absolutely unprepared for a player rated 30th in the world, creating this amount of market demand. And this is the economic reality of the yellow impact making its way to American soil. For background, Indian Wells is referred to as the fifth Grand Slam, a moniker that is well-deserved. More than $9 million will be awarded in 2026. Every well-known figure in women's tennis is present on the field. Aryna Sabalenka, a multiple Grand Slam champion and the top player in the world, the reigning champion, Mira Andrea, Iga Swiatek, Coco Gauff, and Jessica Pegula. The list of entries reads like a who's who of the top players in the sport right now. At a tournament of this size, these players have spent years cultivating the reputations and performance that earn them favorable court assignments and high ticket costs. Alex Eala, ranked 31st in the world, is in the center of that list and is attracting more ticket interest from a single demographic than the well-known names on paper are from the wider tennis public. That's a big statement. That is a total reversal of professional tennis's typical business reasoning. And it's happening in real time right now. 24. The first stop on the route to this point was Beaverton, Oregon. Eala visited the Nike World headquarters before traveling to California, and the greeting she experienced there set the tone for everything that will happen at Indian Wells. Alongside the finest athletes the company has ever represented, her photos were already on display at the renowned Nike Tunnel. Her famous face after making it to the Miami semifinals was captured in one portrait. Her face was touched by both hands. Tears are the unfiltered feelings of someone who has just done something that goes above and beyond what they had anticipated. Nike does not caption things carelessly, which is why the caption history in full bloom was picked. A picture of Eala taking a selfie with Filipino fans was also on display in the Tunnel Feelings Tunnel, and it clearly illustrates Nike's understanding of why this collaboration is successful. They are investing in the community that supports the athlete wherever she goes, not just in the athlete herself. By hanging the fan photo on the wall at the global headquarters, EA is demonstrating that the company's narrative transcends individual sporting success. With a global fan base, it is a cultural movement that changes the business realities of every competition she competes in. The visit to Oregon was purposefully timed. In order to allow herself more time to be ready for the conditions at Indian Wells, Eala landed in the United States early. A particular playing environment is created by the California desert. It's dry outside. Ball flight is influenced by altitude. Compared to what she experienced at the Middle East and Oceania trips earlier in the year, the courts played differently. Arriving in the US before the majority of players from Europe have arrived, adjusting to the time zone, and being acquainted with the surface conditions. At a tournament where every player in the draw is performing at an elite level, these are the margins that count. She had 7 years of instruction at the Rafa Nadal Academy in a setting that valued rigorous preparation and an unwavering work ethic. Her approach to every campaign demonstrates that basis. She doesn't just show up and hope for the best the day before. She makes arrangements in advance. She gets ready for certain situations. And that kind of deliberate preparation is exactly what the early arrival in the US and the visit to the Nike headquarters signify. It is impossible to overestimate the impact on her long-term development of entering Indian Wells with a top 30 ranking instead of qualifying. Those that advance to the main draw have already participated in several high-stakes Oceania high-stakes games. They are carrying weariness. The Derecha Stakes weariness with them, T entrance play weariness with them. Entry players' RS conserved emotional and physical energy has already been expended by them. Eala achieved an incredible feat last year in Miami by qualifying and making it to the semifinals. However, it also meant that she played more games overall under more pressure than any of the opponents she overcame. She is new to Indian Wells this year. She shows up well-rested. After recuperating in-entry players in Dubai for 2 weeks, she arrives. Additionally, she has visited Nike headquarters, which gave her a psychological boost that no amount of court preparation can match. You learn something about yourself that training alone cannot convey when you see your own picture on the wall of the world's most renowned athletic brand headquarters next to athletes whose names epitomize brilliance in sports. The opposition is strong. Some of the greatest players in women's tennis history are among the top-seeded at Indian Wells. For a number of years, Sabalenka has been one of the most powerful players in women's tennis. Swiatek is still one of the most complete players on the circuit and has held the top spot in the global rankings for a long time. At this event, Andrea is the reigning champion. On their best day, any of them can defeat any competitor in the field. However, seeded whether she can defeat the world number 1 in straight sets in her opening encounter is hardly the main topic of discussion at Indian Wells. When a player with her profile, form, fan base, and psychological momentum joins a tournament and begins to advance through the rounds, it is about what transpires over the course of 2 weeks. In the future, the players who defeat her at these competitions will have to do it in front of thousands of Filipino spectators, which will generate loudness levels never seen in the tournament's regular draw stages. The player whose fans are creating the noise benefits from this genuinely altered competition atmosphere. Every tournament thus far in 2026 has confirmed what Sam Querrey and Steve Johnson said about Eala's drawing power being greater than Joel Fences' SN, the men's side last year. Auckland's crowds were amazing. They broke records in Melbourne. The mood in Abu Dhabi was electrifying. Gauff herself spoke to the stands in Dubai, thanking the Filipino supporters for attending and for changing the tournament's atmosphere. California operates on a whole other scale. This Filipino community is more than just a few eager tourists who took a unique journey. Since Eala's Miami run last year demonstrated that she was indeed capable of playing with and defeating the world's top players, a well-established, sizable, organized diaspora has been waiting for this precise moment with growing anticipation. The event organizers, who are apparently shocked by the Russian tickets, are not coping with a brief boost in interest that will return to normal after the draw is made public. They are coping with a structural shift in the demographics and motivations of their event attendees. For many years, tennis in the US has been trying to reach groups that have not traditionally played a lot of tennis and draw in more diverse audiences. Without a marketing campaign, a well-thought-out fences well-thought-out outreach plan, or anything other than winning matches and projecting the kind of competitiveness and dignity that inspires others to identify with her tale, Alex Eala achieved that in a single season. Thousands of Filipino fans traveling to the California desert will have an impact on every commercial touch point of the tournament, including food vendors, merchandise operations, hospitality suites, parking, and tennis events. The rising ticket prices on the secondary market represent actual dollars flowing into the Indian Wells ecosystem from a demographic that was not previously producing that kind of economic activity at tennis events. Additionally, she won't be by herself when I enter the court for her tournament debut. Behind her will be a wall of white, red, and blue. At this competition, she will hear her name in a manner that most players in her ranking have never heard. Every opponent will feel like they are the away team in the environment she plays in. Eala must cope with living like Michael Jordan in the Philippines. According to Kim Clea, she will soon experience what it's like to have that same energy transported to American soil in California. What her followers in Dubai gave her, and more, is what the Filipino diaspora here is willing to give her. On March 4th, Indian Wells opens. In a sense, the countdown has ended. The fans have reservations. The areas are set aside. The neighborhood is well organized. And Alex Eala, who just arrived from Oregon with Nike's full support and a career-high ranking that places her in the top tier of the draw, is set to take to the purple courts and do something that has never been done before in the tournament's history. Every player in the draw who must compete against Eala in front of that crowd will comprehend exactly what Coco Gauff knew in Dubai, as the fifth Grand Slam is going to take on a totally different kind of energy. It's one thing to play against her. It's quite another matter entirely to play against her and the Filipino community as a whole. Nike is supporting Alex Eala as she travels to Indian Wells with her best ever ranking. And the entire Filipino community in California is prepared to transform that desert arena into something this tournament has never seen. It's going to be the most exciting Grand Slam in